What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to talk about this Sunset Overdrive trademark. So, not necessarily new, although something that everybody's kind of caught on to today. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I saw it the day it happened, right? But I obviously saw it today as well. But this was registered back on April 26th, I believe. So, this is they did this. And I don't know if this just became public right now, but they did this, about a week or so ago. And this was registered by Sony, okay? And basically, this brings up the question, and there's only really two ways you can go into it, is did they do this to do something with it or to just own it and not do anything with it? And that's pretty much the only, in my opinion, that's the only thing they could possibly do, right? So you have people debating, and I would say arguing, and I'm sure there's the console wars that'll start over on Twitter. I think this is a very smart move, and I have always believed, I think I even made videos back when Insomniac was bought by Sony. Look, number one thing I want is Resistance. I want that back. I know the game didn't sell. I know the game didn't perform. I know it's a long shot, but if one day we could get literally a Resistance reboot, I don't even need, yes, a remake of 1, 2, and 3 would be great, but if we got a Resistance reboot, that would be phenomenal. But beyond that, I think, obviously with them working on Spider-Man, Ratchet & Clank, phenomenal. Insomniac is one of the top tier developers in the world, not just Sony's, right, just in general. But really, Sunset Overdrive, I think, was a really solid game. I don't think it was the best game ever, but it was definitely a really solid game for Xbox, for Microsoft. And I think it would make a ton of sense to make... Now, it would probably upset people because how often do you have... And it's not often. Do you have a game or like a franchise? So if you have two games, you basically have made a franchise. You have two games. The first is exclusive to one console, but then obviously maybe Sony can bring it over. And then the second is exclusive to another console. That would be... And I get, by the way, why that would upset people. And maybe that's why Sony hasn't really done anything with it yet. It's because, again, like the people who bought the first one aren't PlayStation people, unless, they could easily be, right? But there's no easy way of tracking that data. All they know is that those people played Xbox. And so I guess you'd be assuming that if the game came out on PlayStation, it would do better and they would support a second game, right? So, but again, I've been a really big supporter of the idea of, firstly, and I think honestly this is what's interesting is there's that Sony State of Play leak, right, which I actually covered on the main channel just probably like half an hour ago from when you guys are seeing this. And on that State of Play leak, which I don't believe it, by the way, but the last two things are Sunset Overdrive Remaster, basically on PS4 and PS5, and a Sunset Overdrive 2, Sunset Apocalypse, I think is what they called it. So I don't believe that leak, but I do think that's probably the plan, is to one day do whether you just do it on PS5 or you do PS4 and PS5, but you do some sort of porting and maybe like an enhanced edition, right, to get us, people that play PlayStation, let's just call us, right, Sunset Overdrive. And then you give us a second game. I think that makes sense. I think that works. I think there's two things. Number one is I saw people saying that Microsoft still owns the right basically to like Insomniac owns the name Sunset Overdrive, okay, but Microsoft can only, as of I guess the last time people checked, is the only ones that can publish it. So it may be, if they do it, okay, either Microsoft lets that thing expire, where then Sony can just do it on their own, or it would actually kind of be like an MLB situation where Microsoft is publishing a game where it says like Xbox Game Studios, but it's a PlayStation exclusive. You know what I mean? So versus, again, like MLB The Show, remember 21, which was, you could see it when you play it on PlayStation or on Xbox, and people on Xbox were like, this is kind of surreal or just different, that when they're playing it, they're seeing that PlayStation logo pop up, right? That's like a PlayStation Studios thing. So again, there's a couple avenues I think they could go. Microsoft could let it expire, and anybody, technically, I guess, would be able to publish it as long as Insomniac works out a deal with them, which obviously Sony makes a lot of sense. Or Microsoft could just do it themselves. And I'm sure that would get kind of tricky. That would kind of get a little messy, but I'm sure it could still happen. Or they've already let it expire, and Sony, and because, well, like that's where I kind of get confused. Like I get people saying that, but at the same time, this trademark, I don't know, kind of odd to just randomly do it. Now I don't know if the trademark was about to expire but the Sony never owned the trademark, so like why choose just a random day in April to trademark the game? You know what I mean? Like why would you do that unless there's a plan? There's countless examples of games and publishers and developers and all this stuff, trademarking things that they never use, and I've always said this too, trademarking things that they could use way way in the future. Like I said, I think PS6, 7, and 8 may be trademarked. And obviously, like, say the PS8, that's not going to be for like 15 years, but you trademark it anyway, okay? So it doesn't have to mean, I want to make that clear, right? I'm not saying this is official confirmation that Sunset Overdrive is coming to PlayStation. I think it will happen. I lean towards that is why you would do it, because I would say this, yes, it could just be you're doing it to hold on to it for like an indefinite future, or you're just doing it kind of for fun. I think they're doing it for a purpose. I don't know how Insomniac works. I know that they make several games at the same. I mean, they were making Miles at the same time. It seems like they were making Spider-Man 2. Okay, kind of in the background. At the same time, they're doing Ratchet and Clank. So they have, I'd say, at least 2 big teams in Insomniac, if not 3, working on games. So is it possible that once Ratchet is done, that they can use that team to do Sunset Overdrive 2? Or, you know, I don't know. Or again, like, is the Miles team very definitively separate from Spider-Man 2's team, in which case they have 3 teams? So, like, it's definitely possible they can work on a lot of things. I think it is possible they can make future Sunset Overdrive games. Like I said, I'd prefer Resistance. I'd prefer, you know, I guess Ratchet and Clank, make that a like, obviously it is a franchise, but like, keep it going, right? Obviously Spider-Man is very important to them and very important to Sony, but I think you could squeeze Sunset Overdrive in there somewhere, right? So I think this is for a reason. I don't think this is for like some sort of very, very long-term like thing that they may use down the line. I think this is something that they're going to use rather soon. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Again, I mean, either they're doing it for fun and they're doing it so they can use it, you know, in indefinite period of time in the future, or they're doing it because they do have plans to do it right away. Let me know which one you think. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up, and I do a brand new video every single day on this channel, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.